Hi there and welcome.
You're listening to Animals and Us, Voices of a New Paradigm.
My name is Avantika, and I'm a researcher exploring animal consciousness, environmental sustainability, and planetary health. I want to help bring animal perspectives to the table and transform our relationship with the natural world.
And I'm Barbara. I'm an animal communicator and retired veterinarian. My true passion is exploring the hearts and souls of animals and helping people come to a much deeper understanding of who the animals truly are at their core.
This podcast is for anyone who loves animals and nature and has an interest in their own personal and spiritual development. We'll bring you powerful conversations with fascinating people about animal and nature sentience, consciousness, and communication.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of love, respect, understanding, and care for the fellow beings who share our beautiful Mother Earth with us.
Hello and welcome to Animals and Us, Voices of a New Paradigm.
Hi, this is Barbara.
And this is Avantika.
And we are in Botswana in the bush with our wonderful tour guide whose name is Isaac. And we've been traveling with Isaac for the past 10 days and have been so impressed by his wisdom and knowledge of the animals and nature. And I've just been kind of astounded. I've been to Africa before several times, and this by far is my best experience of being with animals. And a lot of that is because of Isaac's expertise and passion and enthusiasm and his intuition about who the animals are and where they're going to be and what they're going to be doing. So it's been quite astounding. So Isaac, I'd just like to know from you how you got into this. Where did you come from? And what kind of background did you have? What kind of training? And what's been your experience?
Hello, everyone. My name is Isaac, born and raised eastern side of the country, Botswana. And it's been a journey for me to where I am today to be a guide. I used to do lots of school tours when I was a kid, and I fell in love with nature and animals. And later in 2005, I moved to Maun, which is western side of the country, and this is a touristic place. And the initial plan was just to visit my sister. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what to do. But when I got down to Maun and when I started to see these people driving tourists, which are guys like me today, I felt in love, and I thought, you know what, this is something that I can do. And I told my sister, and straight away she was like, look, I mean, if you want to live your passion, you can do it. And there's some schools here in Maun where you can study guiding. And there was a private school called Career Dream Center. And this is where I did my guiding. And yeah, that was early 2006-07. And then 8, that's when I started to come to the bush until today. So I've been here in the bush for a long time. And yeah, I'm glad to meet my friends here, Barbara, Avantika. Thank you for coming. And I really enjoyed stay with me. And I'm glad you really enjoyed it too.
Thank you, Isaac. That was beautiful. It's lovely hearing about your past and your history and how you ended up here. And you said 2008. That's when you started. So I'm curious, what is it that you love so much about being out here? What do you love? What are the things that you love about being in nature and being with the animals?
Yeah, I mean, every day is different. Every day is different. What I like about nature, tranquility. I mean, this one thing that I can really talk about most. Like I said, I was born eastern side of the country, which is the second biggest city, I mean, of the country. And I mean, those lights and noise really, I'm just to be aware of those kind of stuff. I feel like, you know what, nature is like the best thing that I can live. And I got passion with animals. I love animals. You know, these animals, you see them doing different behaviors every day. Not only animals, but birds, everything around, nature. It's just amazing stuff. You know, all those nature calls that you hear at night while you're sleeping, it is one of the best things that you never forget, you know. Even if when I'm out on my off days, I feel like, you know, I could have like a week off and then come back to the bush again. So, yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating to be out in the bush. Just to really make story short, nature is just most amazing events, you know. Yeah.
Thank you, Isaac. I so resonate with what you're saying. It's just amazing to hear the hyenas whooping and the lions roaring and the hippos grunting at night. It's so peaceful and relaxing. My sense is that you have a real deep understanding of the animals. It's not just, you've done a lot of research, I can tell. And it's not just seeing the animals in the bush for you. It's you've studied them, you know the scientific jargon and who they are and what they are. But there's a deeper level, and that's what Avantika and I are most interested in, is the something beyond what most people know about animals. And I have a feeling that you have a really deep intuitive sense about who and what the animals are. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about these animals that we have here, you know, nature really works hand in hand. Think about it, the elephant. A lot of people, they always think like elephants, they are very destructive, just for an example. But they don't think to the positive way. How are they, why they're doing that, you know? And elephants, yes, of course, they are destructive. But we should think about other animals, like giraffes, kudu. You know, they can create their own way, like own path. So they need elephants to open those way for them to go through, and they can browse through these thick bushes, you know. But also, elephants, they are non-ruminant animals, and they only digest 40% on what they feed on, of which some of these undigested materials that they feed, like fruit trees, you know, they sometimes when they defecate, you see these seeds on those poops. And what comes in your mind when you see those kind of stuff? There's going to end up being a tree growing where that elephant pooped. Also, the poop itself, it just goes back into the soil, which is kind of like a manure to the environment. And also, when they move across this wetland, especially in the Okavango Delta, you know, they actually help by opening these channels, of which we consider them as one of the keystone of the bush. And yeah, I mean, like I said, these animals, they kind of like need each other. As human beings, we always think like they actually some animals that are breaking they're actually making an impact, like a negative impact. But it's not necessarily that way. We should think both sides. And of course, I mean, here in Botswana, we got the highest population of elephants. I just talk about particularly with the elephants because people, they always think about more negative about elephants. But I just want to get people to think even positive side of this amazing animal that we have here. And of course, you know what? We get predators. Predators that actually balance in nature in such a way that, you know, they hunt other animals, they feed on other animals. it's quite sad to see those kind of situation, but it's a cycle of life. It's a cycle of life. Think about if there were lots of lions and maybe less impalas. There were gonna be less lions, but there's more herbivores. There's less predators, and then with these predators that we have, they're actually balancing these herbivores. Because also, if there's lots of herbivores in this kind of environment, of which they're gonna end up run of food. So that's why we have these predators. We have herbivores, and let's think it like both sides, negative, positive, and the bottom line is the nature balance itself. This is one thing that we should think about.
So on that topic, Isaac, about balance, tell us about how you feel about what's happening in the world. I know in Botswana there is this huge focus on conservation and taking care of the animals and taking care of the environment, but we know we're struggling with that in other places of the world. So how do you feel about things being out of balance and how important it might be for us to bring that balance back and pay attention to these things that nature needs and the animals need?
That's actually a good question. A good topic that we can talk about now. So the thing is, with nature as human beings, if we try to avoid interfere with nature, that's like the most important thing. We don't have to interfere much, because what I've realized, we are kind of like one of the strongest animal in Earth, in such a way that the way we interfere, just like littering or hunting and all those kind of stuff, we should know what to do. There are some animals that, if you hunt, you actually kind of like break the cycle. For example, I'll give you an example. I like to talk about the elephants, because I know people, they always think something else with elephants. In some other parts of the country, and where the hunting are allowed, you find like they don't know that like killing like a big bull elephant really is not really a good idea, because the thing is, elephants, they start to breed when they are between 20 and 30, but apparently they could be fatter only if they are 40 and 50, and those are the big bulls that we normally got them with the huge tusk. And what you should consider is, what if you kill that big bull, which is actually playing the most important part on gene pool? So we should try to avoid and know and educate people, and for those who have knowledge, let's take it somewhere else, by educating other people. Pass the word, share as much as you can. I feel like that's the most important thing that which can bring nature into place, because some people, they just do it without knowledge. It doesn't mean like they know what they are doing, but if you have something that it's the best to share.
Thank you for speaking about the elephants, Isaac. As you know, I love the elephants, and I've just written a book about them. And they're very important. I don't think I realized how important they really are till I came here, and I got to see firsthand. The elephant poops are everywhere, and there's many animals. We saw baboons picking at their poop just to get the seeds out, and seeing what you consider destruction, but it makes these paths for other animals. So thank you for talking about that. And I'm curious about the difference between lodges and mobile safaris, which is like the one we're on right now. How do you feel about that?
I started working in the lodges, and it's been a fascinating experience. The experience is quite different from mobile safaris. The difference is with lodges. The thing is, you fly in. Most of the lodges, it's a fly in. So Maun is like a gate pass. You just land in Maun, you fly in, or whichever lodge you'll be going first, and then you can fly lodge to lodge. And there's more activities that you can do in a lodge. You can do walking safari, you can do Mokoro, you can do night drive, you can do game drive, because these are private concessions. So a private concession, it means that you actually you have more to do, and you are kind of like owning that land for 15 years, which is it's a leased place. I mean, the land still belongs to the government, but for that 15 years, you can do as much as you can. However, you have to take care of the environment, because then if you don't take care of the environment, you can end up losing the environment. The land. So the thing is, you are kind of like in a small place. You drive you come back. You must see a lot of stuff. Of course, you must see lions. You must see anything that you can think about in the bush. All those animals. But the thing is, you don't cover a huge area. That's the one thing that you can do with the lodges. And for people which can do really long distances, it's more suitable for them to do lodges, because you just do a morning game drive, you have your siesta during the day, you got a nice proper shower, you got power, and everything is like easy to be done. And then when it comes to mobile safari, we cover such a huge distance, but also it's such a vast experience. You cover these stunning parks that we have in this country. Talk about Chobe, Savuti, Muremi. They are all diverse. But again, to do a mobile safari, you have to be very adventurous, because the thing is, thinking about long days, when you move from place to place, it never be short. It always like long days, and it's a tented camp. It's more rustic, bucket shower, and the bathroom. It's like it's a long drop. So it's one thing that you should set your mind to know that you're gonna have to do it for the mobile safari, but also it's a different experience. But think about it. Safaris, when you talk about some decades ago, this is how safaris used to be. But now things have changed from where they were. Safaris back in the days, this is what you call a true safari when you talk about a mobile safari, because you're actually having your feet right on the soil. Everything is rustic. And of course, in a mobile safari, you like a family, you just small groups. Going back to the lodges again, in lodges you find like they're actually having like 20 people. It depends which lodge are you going to. Some lodges can take 40-45 people. You don't get to interact with people much, because it's more isolated kind of lifestyle, unlike in a mobile safari where you go in small groups, you interact with people, because the thing is not all about animals. I mean, meeting friends, you create friends when you go in a safari. You just get to know other people and all this kind of stuff. And so it's totally different. But since I've done lodges, I went through that experience. I mean, not necessarily, I don't mean somebody not to experience it. You can experience it, is good, but I'm doing mobile safaris nowadays, and I feel like, mobile safaris, they're like one of the legit safari that I can think about as a guide. And really the guests are having like a lot of experience when it comes to a mobile safari, because with these paraffin lamps and everything is dark at night, which is really good. You're out from the city, you don't feel like you are back into the city like in a lodge where you see lights everywhere. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
And on that note, I can definitely vouch for that. As you know, I've never done anything even close to this before in my life. So I've truly had an experience of a lifetime. I think one of the big things for me that I've shared with you, Isaac, and I've shared before, Barbara, is that, I really want to go back and tell people about this experience and help them see how important it is. I feel like everyone needs to do this to truly appreciate, or some variation of this at least, to truly appreciate all the beautiful things in nature, because coming from a city, coming from a very urban lifestyle, it's one thing to say that we love the environment and we care for it and we should be taking better care of it. But it's an entirely different thing to actually be here and see the beauty and just to slow down, right? That was one of my things during this trip is I don't think I've ever slowed down this much and really appreciated the minute things in life and seeing the pace that nature goes at and seeing the time that these animals take, the time that it takes to grow termite mound or just to see how they move and they take their time. That's been really, really beautiful. And I know one of the things I'll do when I go back is to encourage people to get out there more. And I hope to keep doing that because I think it's very different when you're actually out here experiencing it. And I want to ask you, Isaac, how do you feel about that? Do you think that people should come out here and experience this if they've never done anything like this before? Because I bet you have a lot of different types of people who come. Maybe people who've done this many times before, maybe people like me who've never done it before. Do you think it's important for people to come and experience this so they can really appreciate what's happening on our planet?
Absolutely. It's really, really important for people to travel and appreciate nature. I know it's the word of mouth. People, they will talk to you, but doing the real thing, it's always different. Because then you're going to appreciate, you're going to learn a lot from these animals. Animals, they don't talk, but look into their behaviors. You take your time, watch these animals, how they live. You get fascinated. It might change your lifestyle. It might change everything about you, what you're thinking about animals. So, because especially Africa, people, they always think like Africa is not a good place to go. But there are some places, of course, that you can't. But forget about that. Travel, come and see nature, enjoy the animals, enjoy nature, enjoy everything that you can see within the bush. You're going to learn a lot from these animals, I tell you. I've learned a lot. I wish we could live like how the animals live. We can all definitely change our lifestyle if we live that way.
Yes, Isaac. It's so wonderful to be with these animals. And some of the experiences we've had have been astounding. Like just this morning, we sat with a group of 3 lionesses and their 7 babies, little babies, maybe a couple, 2 to 3 months old. They were so adorable and making these little noises and licking one another and rubbing against one another and playing. It was just so fabulous. And, I've seen these animals before over the years, but I don't know what's happening, but to me, they're just so much more beautiful, all of them. Leopards, we've seen leopards and cheetahs and lions and hyenas and jackals and all kinds of birds. And and of course, elephants. And I just love them so much. They're so beautiful. They don't even seem real at this point. They're so magnificent. And I've been deeply moved. And I would love for everyone to experience something like this. There are a lot of people that wouldn't be able to do this. We have long drives every day, and we have nice little toilets, and we have a little bucket shower that comes down with warm water. And one other thing that's been impressive to me always about Africa is the people. And our camp staff and Isaac and the people we encounter, what I've noticed in Africa over the years is there are many people that have nothing. They're very poor, that we could consider poor, but they're happy. And when I look at faces of people in the US or other places I've been that are supposedly more sophisticated, a lot of the people just aren't very happy. They seem bored, they seem stressed. But here, many of the people just seem happy. Is that your experience?
True. African people, we are always happy. Funny enough is, like I shared with you, we have different tribes in Africa. Wherever you go in Africa, I tell you, it's either you hear about 15 different tribes, 100 different tribes. Africa is diverse. It's huge. It's a huge continent, and everywhere is different. But the thing is, we are a family. There's nothing like tribalism between us. It's just we find us together. You can't even tell like you're actually from different tribes. And Africans they really work together. We are so communal. And when it goes back to nature, I'll just give an example for those cooperative species. When you heard about the birds, which are cooperative animals, which are working together, very good example. When you talk about the wild dogs, I should compare us like wild dogs. We share, we really share, we work together. We don't really just let people suffer. We can help anybody by all means, from low, medium, high. We don't have a problem with that. So really, I'm happy to be an African.
Yeah, thank you for being who you are. I mean, like Barbara said, just aside from the beauty here in the nature and the animals, the people are beautiful too. And I think if everyone can have if everyone can make an opportunity, create an opportunity that they can come and experience this, it is truly life-changing. I guess we will wrap up soon, but I also just wanted to commend you and the companies here who are doing this in such a sustainable and eco-friendly way where we're reducing our carbon footprint. That's been really wonderful. I know for myself, I'm going to go back and just even see if there's small ways that I can change my habits every day to think about how it's going to impact the environment that I'm in. We've talked about that when we leave a campsite, you guys make sure that you leave it in the way you found it. And I just, I think there's so much to appreciate about this experience on many different levels. So thank you so much, Isaac, for your time. And we will definitely be in touch. And I can't wait to plan another trip and come. It's been so wonderful learning from you and being in the front seat with you, asking you a million questions. It's been a really wonderful time. And truly from the bottom of my heart, I also thank the animals for allowing us into their lives. And it really makes you feel like, you are a part of this earth. This is your home. This is our home as much as it is theirs. It's their home as much as it is ours. And we are all here to share together and to live and thrive together. And I think, that separation between us and them starts to fade when you're here and you're going through this experience, because you realize that we all really have to live and thrive together on this planet if we want to continue being here. It's we're not more important or ahead of them in any way. We really have to find a way to respect them the way that they deserve to be respected. Sometimes the lifestyle that I come from, the place that I come from, we forget that people don't think about animals and the environment every day. But when you come out here, you realize that it's a part of who we are. And we all are interconnected and we all impact each other every day, whether or not we realize it.
Well said. I agree with all of it. And I'm going home changed. I'm getting emotional. I don't know why exactly, but I've just been deeply touched by the beauty here. And sitting with these animals, we've seen so many babies, wild dog babies and lion babies and elephant babies, and the peacefulness, even baboon babies for a long time, just the peacefulness and the joy of their lives, even knowing that, they could be prey for another animal the next day, but it doesn't matter. They're living their lives so fully and beautifully, and to be part of that is such a miracle. And I really, really thank you for helping us experience that in such a beautiful way. So thank you, Isaac.
Thank you very much for coming. I really had a great time with you, and it's been such a nice previous 10 days with you. And I hope you enjoyed your trip, and you're gonna pass a word of mouth. You can share your knowledge. Share your experience. With us, Okavango Expedition. This is the marketing company of our mobile safari, and we're actually looking forward for that. And thank you very much for coming. You're such a lovely people. I really enjoyed it. You respected the animals. You really worked. We really worked together nicely, and thank you very much. And you travel very safe.
Thank you, Isaac. We will share the details about the company and our experience on the website. So if anyone's interested, they can see what we did and hear more about the details. And just to close off on that note, as we always do, we will end with the short blessing for the animals.
We'd like to end this podcast by taking just a moment to be quiet. And we give thanks and blessings to these amazing animals that we share our lives with. They give us so much and ask for so little in return. We hope that you can keep the animals and all living beings in your heart and in your mind as you go about your day. Thank you so much for being here with us today.